Well, a very, very good evening to everybody here on the DDMM YouTube channel. Welcome to live coverage of round 4 of the 2023 Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship live here on DDMM. For a bit of something new, the first appearance of the IR04, the newly named actually, official Formula 4 FIA car here on iRacing. And we're racing around the circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya in its proper form, the historic form. None of that awful chicane at the end of the lap. Howard Mitchell. Howard, good evening to you. How are you doing, mate? This is going to be good, I feel. First time we've seen the F4 out on the classic F1 layout for Barcelona. This should be pretty good.
Yes, absolutely, mate. Hello to you and hello to everybody. I'm good, thank you. And yes, I think this is going to be a good one, mate. We've had good results before when we've introduced single-seaters into our Club 100 iRacing Championship. And I think this Formula 4 car is really, I mean, it's proven very popular since it was added to the service. Last year? I want to say 3 seasons, 4 seasons ago. Feels like it's been around for almost probably longer than that now, actually. But it's a popular choice, and that's because it produces some really good racing. So I think this is going to, I've got a hunch that this is going to be a really good addition to our wide array of vehicles that we use now in this championship. So really looking forward to it. And yes, really looking forward to this Barcelona circuit. It's delivered us some good racing before. It's a bit of a, I want to say we've raced touring cars and GTs here in previous seasons. I hope I'm not misremembering that. But each time it seems to have provided us with good stuff. So it's good that we're getting the single-seaters. Interesting track, obviously a regular one of testing in Formula 1. And the reason they do that is because of the mix of corners. Admittedly, we've removed the really slow chicane bit. I think we're all happy with that, as you say. But it is a nice mix of corners. There are overtaking opportunities, and this is a car that just loves tracks that provide that. So yeah, absolutely looking forward to this.
Indeed. So we've just had the reset around the free practice has finished. I actually didn't take a look at the lap times at the end of that free practice, but I know that Kieran Harrison was top of the timesheets. Slightly smaller number of drivers tonight, which I think for those here, they won't be complaining too much about that because it's going to be quite a run down to that first turn, especially with this being the first time we've had single-seaters this year. Howard, how are the points looking after the end of round 3? Yeah,
absolutely. So we've got Adam State at the top of the championship as we come into this round. Ross Deal in second, and Steve Hicks rounding out your top 3. I am going to just double check who is the top of class 2 because it's not on the graphic.
It's going to be Murray Adams.
It is Murray Adams, isn't it? I just thought I'd double check that. Is top there in 10th of your class 2 runners. But as you can see at this point in the season in general, Andrew, the headline I think is nobody is running away with this.
Nope.
Right? This is nice and tight all the way down through the table. And there's still plenty to play for. Still only on round 4, of course. So, yeah, it's really good to see. Well supported, as you say. Perhaps a slightly quieter round, as you said. I don't think the drivers are going to mind it too much. I don't think we're going to be denied good. You know, we're going to still get good racing. Mark my words on that one. Perhaps somewhat to be expected as we enter into our summer months in the real world. So I know plenty of people who are going away at the moment.
Including, I say, a couple of our folks tuning in already. Hello to Down to Race, supporting Tim Penny tonight. Virtual cookies for virtual good luck. So yeah, we'll keep an eye out on Tim. And all, I say, people being away. Matt Whitefoot, evening to you, mate. Good luck all. Gutted can't make it tonight because he is on his way to the Spanish Grand Prix, which is this weekend at the same venue. Here we are on board then with Murray Adams. And Howard, take us round this Barcelona circuit. It's been a staple in Formula racing for a good few many years, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. I want to say 96 was the first time they raced there, but someone's probably going to correct me on that. This long right-hander, I should say, that takes you to the end of the first sector, then braking into the second sort of major overtaking opportunity here at turn number 4. And then we've got another heavy braking, so you've got a overtake to right-hander, an overtake left-hander, and that's not how you get the traction down coming out of it for Murray Adams. Through this quick left-hander at 7, it's about carrying as much momentum without going over the rumble strips on the exit, otherwise you're going to do yourself some damage. And then again, it's about carrying as much pace as possible through this right-hander onto the back straight. Don't go over all the rumbly strips or onto the sand to your left. And then another big overtaking opportunity here. Big braking. We're going further into the corner for this round than people may be familiar with, because we are on that historic layout. So maybe not as sharp as a turn, but still an overtaking opportunity there. And then this final sector, particularly on this historic layout, is about just carrying the momentum through these corners onto the straight, flat out through that section. Don't hit your rumble strip on the left-hand side. Lift through here so as you don't go too wide, pushing the limits there. Don't want to get track limits warnings. And then in a racing situation, you want to be hopefully in somebody's wheel tracks for this overtaking opportunity coming up into turn number 1.
Lap times coming in then. Kieran Harrison straight to the top of the timesheets with a 1 minute 42.35. Sam Sanders, big opportunity tonight for Sam Sanders to get some good points on the board there in second place, because there are a few key absentees. No Ross Deal, no Michael Preston tonight. Is Cameron Watson in the number 48. Second row of the grid at the moment, Tim Penny and William Doyle. And then Tom Dix and Steve Hicks on row 3. Great qualifying at the moment from Matt Salmon. I think maybe on course for a promotion to Class 2. You can see the black number board in P9 at the moment to indicate that he is a C3. Will at least be there for a couple more rounds whilst his performance is evaluated, but right up there at the moment in the top 2 runners outside of Class 1. Very good effort for the D licensed driver.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really impressed by that. As we're watching Cameron Watson going through the middle sector of the lap now. And yeah, this is a circuit, Andrew, that I think a lot of drivers will have experience on. It's a bit of a classic of... I think of it as a bit of a classic circuit to get early on in your iRacing career, because it's on quite a few championships. But I don't know. It's I think it's much nicer in this historic configuration, as you've said. It can feel a little bit clumsy. I've had a lot of fun, funnily enough, in Mazda MX-5s around this circuit. It seems to produce good racing in that. And these, I'll confess up front that I've not driven this IR04 or Formula 4 car in iRacing, for my shame. I think, but I think it can produce very similar racing as we get in other, perhaps slower. This is the thing: slower cars. No, this isn't a Formula 1 single seater, but they can be so much fun. So here's William Doyle. Has he got... Yes, he is just coming around, I believe, to finish his second time lap, if I'm not much mistaken, through this left-hander here in the mid-sector. This is called... Oh, and that's not going to be the quickest way through at all. That's called TV3, that left-hander there. Just looking out for who else in the dying moments of this session. Or dying moments, I say. There's still 70 seconds left on the clock. And, yeah, the one thing I would say, though, is whether... And no, he's bailed out of that. Is anybody else on a flyer? Matt Hale, I think, probably still just coming around now. There we go.
Apologies for the brief technical issues there, folks. Hopefully that's just done a couple of changes in DDMM HQ to address that for you. Big thanks to our series sponsors, CLUB100 and G3 Pro. For those not aware, drivers competing this season once again for the opportunity to have a free entry into a CLUB100 Endurance Championship round of their choice in 2024, of course, this time. The top drivers in Class 1 and Class 2 receiving those prizes, and still plenty of racing between now and the end of the year to decide that. Here's Kirith Kelly-Rye. Good to have Kirith back on track. He's missed a couple of rounds, but here for the first time in the single-seaters, Howard. How's he getting on at the moment? As I say, there's the checker flag.
It doesn't matter. It's gone now. He's lying in whatever bed he has made.
Which I think is 19th place. Not too bad.
Yeah, that'll do. Let's take a look actually at the grid. Yeah, let's clear that, and then let's look at the grid. There we go.
So here is the grid for race number 1 of 3 tonight. Kieran Harrison on pole position. Adam State alongside on the front row. Sam Sanders and Will Doyle on row number 3. Tim Penny and Charlie Summers start on the 3rd row of the grid. Tom Dixon, Steve Hicks form up row number 4. Jack Eyre and Cameron Watson make it a top 10 lockout for Class 1 drivers. Luke Tomlinson and Craig Brown are first for the C2s with the blue number boards. Andrew Dawson and Sam Dimolo will be next up on row number 7. Matt Salmon is the first of the C3s on row 8 alongside Dan Gamblin. James Fremont and new to the championship Tom Stalker are there on row number 9. Kirith Kelly-Rye and Matt Hale form up row number 10. David Whitehouse and Simon Delamere are there on row 11. Simon, the second of the C3s. Murray Adams, 23rd on the grid. Richard Sanders, 24th. And Tom Kemping completes the grid of 25 drivers here for race number 1 for round 4 of the CLUB100 and BUKC iRacing Championship here on DDMM. Andrew Mather and Howard Mitchell, your commentary team for racing here at Circuit de Catalunya. There is your pole sitter in Leeds University colours, Kieran Harrison. He's had some fantastic pace since he joined the championship in round 2, was the winner of round number 3. Even though there was some dramas along the way. Getting ready then for this race. I think we've got a few more seconds before the red lights will be illuminated for the first race here tonight, where it's all about trying to qualify straight through to the A final. You've got to finish in the top 16. Here we go then, here at Catalunya, ready for the race start. And away we go. Good start for Kieran Harrison. Also a good start for Sam Sanders there from P3. Adam State in the red and white car for Cardiff University, chopping across there to defend his line. There's Andrew Dawson away down to turn at number 1. 25 cars all into the big braking zone of turn number 1. Are they all going to be able to make it through? It's looking clean so far, Howard. Kieran Harrison, though, has got the lead. Exactly what he wants to do. Good grid position converted into a strong start.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm delighted to say that looked like a pretty clean start for the whole field. Obviously, the usual jostling for positions, but it's not easy for all that many cars to be going through turns 1 and 2 here at the Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona. So that was good to see. Kieran Harrison, though, with a great start. A little bit of breathing space already forming between him and those behind. I don't think we've had a chance to go through the format, by the way, this evening. Oh, as we've got Cameron Watson, I think has had some kind of... Oh, I think he had some form of disconnect. Yeah, he's blinking a little bit. Which, if that's happening for his fellow competitors, that's never fun. Oh, Sam Sanders dropping down a bit as well. Oh, okay, he was taking the alternative line there and has had to rejoin. He's trying to gather back up his momentum. I think he just went wide out of turn 9 and used the escape road to come back on there.
Yeah, and it's been a bit of an up and down season so far for Sam Sanders. That's not what he would have wanted here in the early stages of this one. At end of lap number 1 then, Kieran Harrison already trying to pull over to one side to break any kind of slipstream for drivers behind. Not as much power in these F4 cars, of course, compared to the Formula 3s that were run last season. And one of the effects around one of these tracks in particular with the long straights As side by side there is Tim Penny and William Doyle. William Doyle in the blue and red car, trying to find a way past the Nomad Racing entry of Tim Penny. This is over third place. Look out for Tom Dix in the blue and orange car behind. Very, very close racing. Oh, Will Doyle had to check out of that one. But good racing here, Howard. This is what we've come to expect. I mean, not only is a Formula One circuit, a lot of motorcycle racing gets done round this circuit. Often a Moto3 race, if you watch it round here, does end up being a bit of a slipstream fest. Good entertainment for us as neutrals, and that's what I'm expecting tonight with these F4s.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, Charlie Summers pushing hard. He had quite a wide moment coming out of the last corner on the last lap. But he's right in the wheel tracks now of Jack Eyre here in the battle over 7th place. He's going to be on the outside for this left-hander at 11, but he's going to carry the speed, and that's nicely done, Andrew, to take himself up into 7th place.
Yeah, very, very good indeed from Charlie Summers. Jack Eyre, who's had a great start to the season, is high up in the points at the moment, the Rethink Racing driver. So
Steve
early.
Hicks definitely getting some screen time due to, I'm loving that that livery.
Well, he's got to have something orange and black, and
yeah,
that is absolutely spot on from Hicksy tonight to have the old orange arrows homage livery. So top 16 is the aim of the game, Howard. Who's fighting for those spots at the moment?
Yeah, good point. So this is the fight over that in a way. Dan Gamblin battling away. Currently he's sat in 16th place. In fact, yeah, this is the battle between Dan Gamblin in the 555 and James Fremont there in the 72, the John Player Lotus homage livery. And yeah, this is for the final spot, guaranteed in the A final. So we're using similar format to what we used at and Jack Eyre's off.
Oh.
Jack Eyre, that's going to be costly for him.
And that's in a very, very tricky position to recover. He's done it well and will rejoin in 23rd position ahead of Richard Sanders. But that is not good news at all for Jack Eyre, one of our British Pro Kart Endurance Championship runners.
Damage is done in terms of qualifying up into the A final directly. So for those who weren't familiar with Hockenheim, as Luke Tomlinson fires a move down the inside of Sam Dimolo and is going to hang on to that. Nice little move there. And Matt Salmon is battling away behind. Yeah, Dimolo just holding him off there. But yeah, we haven't really covered the format. Top 16 will go straight through to the A final. And then there'll be a B final from which the top 4 will get a promotion spot into the A. And then we have a super final at the end. Bad run through the final corner there for Sam Dimolo. That's going to open up the opportunity for Matt Salmon, who immediately gets alongside and will have the inside line breaking into turn 1. Sometimes drivers can hang it around the outside of turn 1 and come back through at turn 2, but that's nicely dealt with by Matt Salmon. Good positioning guarantees that he's up into 13th place.
Very distinctive livery for Sam Dimolo tonight. The duck livery. Quack, quack indeed. And just looking a little bit further back. Oh, in fact, Dimolo having another go here, trying to take 13th place back here. Who's on the outside looking in? Well, it's all from kind of James Fremont down. Kirith
yeah,
Kalivai.
so he was what? Sorry, ahead.
There's it's Dimolo. Ahead. It's Sam Dimolo off, and Tom Dix has gone as well. I think was that Tom? Yes, it was Tom Dix in the McLaren Golf livery.
Yep.
Well, that's a big faller because Tom was up in around 5th or 6th place in the early stages of this race. Rejoins in front of Richard Sanders. We're getting some drivers here who are under threat now of being able to make it into direct into the A final, who we would expect to be there. The likes of Tom Dix, the likes of Sam Sanders. Well, Sam Sanders has started to recover, has he not? Yes, he is. He's back up into 7th place.
And what that means is the battle over, it's completely changed. You asked the question, who's on the outside looking in?
Yep.
We're on board with him now. Tom Stalker running in 17th. yeah, he's now trying to chase Matt Hale. Now, Matt Hale here is in the wheel tracks of David Whitehouse. If he can make this move, great. He doesn't want to lose too much time, Andrew, in doing this. Pulls out alongside the number 99 of David Whitehouse. Will have the inside line for turn number 1, provided he spots the braking point right, which he does. That's the move done for now, but David Whitehouse immediately slots into the wheel tracks through this long turn 3. It's about patience through this corner. Always, Andrew. In fact, there's a few corners around this circuit where it feels really long, and you've got to have good patience. Not get on the power too early, otherwise you'll have a poor exit. And likewise, don't, you know, picking your apex at the right point in some of these longer corners is important as well.
So drivers who are outside of the top 16 at the moment, who we would probably on previous results so far this season would expect to be there. Jack Hare definitely, P17 now. Sam Dimolo's been able to make it into A finals outright. I remember did so at Daytona, if my memory serves me correctly. Tom Dix and William Doyle. That's 4 drivers straight away. Oh, down the inside there. Sam Sanders looking for a move on Steve Hicks for P6, and he's got it done. That was very, very nice.
That was tasty. I like that. That was a very cheeky little move there. Just a wide moment for Steve Hicks coming through turn 12, the one after Lakaxa. and I think that caught him off guard a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a part of the circuit where you need good front end grip. All of these cars running the identical setup, so no advantage to be found from that side of things, but taking care of the car, taking care of the tyres. It is quite a warm ambient temperature out there today, and from what I was hearing from free practice, there's a strong gust in the lobby at the moment. Now that's a tailwind down the main straight. It's one of those winds that in some areas of the circuit, maybe going into turn 4, it'll be really helping you. It'll be a headwind into a big braking zone, but in other areas, it's going to make the car very twitchy and very tricky to control.
David Whitehouse in a difficult position here, Andrew, and Jack Hare is going to pull alongside because he's getting bulked by Matt Hale. I was about to say he's in a difficult position. 3 wide. This is fighting over the last guaranteed spot in the A final, and it's still somehow in the same order. There's a spin behind for Tom Stalker. He's going to drop to the back, but this is fantastic stuff here. I was just thinking Whitehouse is in a difficult position, Andrew. He's in this sandwich, meeting the sandwich, and he's right on the bubble. Now Jack Hare, who's on a bit of a recovery after that spin earlier, is still trying to get by. He's got to compromise his apex speed coming out of there. This is fantastic stuff here. Battling, we've got 15th, 16th and 17th. The top 16 go through, so you don't want to be at the back of this. And that wasn't quite right for Whitehouse there. And it's slowed him right down. It's going to allow Jack Hare through.
Well, it's fair credit to David Whitehouse. He fought that very boldly throughout this lap, and he's not giving it up yet because he's going to potentially have a slipstream down the main straight as Hale and Air continue their fight. Being a single seater, you can't exactly bump draft along in these things like we can with the touring cars or the Mazda MX-5s we saw at Daytona, or even the GT3 cars to an extent. Side by side between Hale and Air. Yeah, I thought I heard Whitehouse was getting out of the throttle there. I wonder if he had a slowdown to deal with from the corner cut to the elected corner cut. I could see what he was doing there. He went for a big one on the brakes, realised he was going to career into Matt Hale, thought it was better to just pull to the inside where there is a little bit of grippy concrete that drivers can use in an emergency, and David did just that, so I imagine that lift off on the main straight was slowdown related. Here's a fight between Sam Dimolo and Tom Stalker.
Both who have had spins coming out of turn 5 now.
Yep.
Which is the corner they're just going through now. So both of them have had an issue getting traction down out of here. You know, for a circuit that's been part of the F1 calendar and is such an established track, they need more corner names.
Yes.
I'm just saying. This is turn 9. For those who are counting along at home.
Kieran Harrison continues to lead this race then, end of lap number 7 of 11. And his lead at the moment over 3 seconds ahead of Adam State. Tim Penny having a good run in third, fourth for Charlie Summers, fifth Sam Sanders. All of those drivers easily qualifying for the A final. Tom Stalker pushing hard on his debut tonight in the CLUB100 BUKC iRACING Championship. Racing against Sam Dimolo at the moment, stalwart of the CLUB100 paddock. Joined this series himself probably about 9 months ago, if my memory serves me right. There is Leeds Motorsports' Kieran Harrison then, running the colours of green and black, often seen on Leeds University cars. And he's just looking in complete control at the moment, Howard. 3.4 seconds ahead of the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, pushing hard though. Bit of a moment there. But yeah, controlling this one nicely, Andrew. The race has just hit that slightly more settled state now. This, actually, this isn't the closest battle on track. The closest battle on track is actually this one, which, funnily enough, is the important one.
Yeah.
And David Whitehouse, I don't know if Matt Hale's made a mistake or Whitehouse has just really got the hammer down here, but he's pushing hard here, Andrew, and fighting for a spot. We've been here before. How are we going to be on the brakes this time? Thinks better of it for now, but fair play to David Whitehouse, Andrew. He's really giving the fight here to try and get into this top 16.
He is indeed, and there'll be 3 laps to go after this one for these drivers to get into that top 16 and qualify through to the A final. Otherwise, it's into the B final they go to try and get those, the top 4 spots. Hale pulls over. You can see he's trying to break the slipstream there down this very, very long straight, one of the longest straights that we'll visit throughout 2023. And here comes Whitehouse, getting closer every time. He's going to have to go round the outside on the brakes if he wants that P16. He's going for it. Has he got the lane? No, it just runs a little bit out wide. That is what can happen on the outside lane there through turn 1. And that was well defended by Matt Hale. He holds on to 16th place.
Yeah, indeed. Really good battling going on here between these two.
Kirith Kalirai just behind there, I saw, in P18.
Yep.
Could be on for a good feature in the second race, which will immediately follow this one. He said that. I think he's just... oh, no, he's just having a bit of a connection issue at the moment. He's hopping up and down my time screen, but eventually settling back in again in 18th place.
I swear I've just seen pass left come up on the lobby chat from Matt Hale, but I don't think that's right. I want to assume that was an erroneous pressing of that button.
Well,
oh, look at this.
It can happen.
We've got all over the place.
You've got a little bit of grass cutting going on now. These next few corners, I feel, Howard, are really, really important for Whitehouse to get a rhythm together and get as close to the rear axle of Matt Hale ahead as they go through the last corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How much pace can Whitehouse carry on to this straight? Neither of them had a particularly bad time of it through that penultimate corner. But this one's the challenge, I always think. And Matt Hale is wise to the threat from behind as he was a lap ago. We're going to push the limits of moving on the straight to try and deter a move here into turn number 1 once again, similar to last time, but Whitehouse didn't have the same run that he had last time around, so the fight will go on for another few corners yet.
Will indeed. But also for Whitehouse, if he's not able to get the move done, there is the consolation of having pole position for the B final and a very good opportunity to race through. We've seen already from Kieran Harrison that he's been able to gallop away in a similar sort of position in this race. The lead's still around 3.4 seconds, but Whitehouse has got a really good chance now up against Hale. Oh, contact! And both of them spin out. Or do they? Do they manage to carry on? Yes, they do manage to carry on, but is the damage to both of those cars? And just as we said, the last thing they wanted to do was to have some form of incident They've had one, and that's going to open the door now for Dimolo and for Kirith Kalirai to come through. Into the final sector then. Race is still not done here, and we'll be having one more lap after this one.
Yeah, last lap board has been shown to our leader in David Whitehouse's round. And that was an unforced error, and he's lost his front wing as well. And that's the opportunity for Sam Dimolo.
But has Dimolo got some damage now on his car? There was contact, not Dimolo's fault. How's his straight line speed? Is Kirith Kalirai going to try and go through here? There he is in the 025 car. May have a run into turn one. Is going to have to be brave on the brakes. This is for 17th place. This is for promotion in, well, to get pole position, sorry, for the B final. We're on the last lap. Leader is coming through sector number 2 now. I've got to say, Howard, we've seen a bit of contact there over the last lap. Our IR04 Formula 4 car seems quite robust to a bit of wheel banging.
They do, don't they? They do, yeah. That was another big plus point. I wasn't going to mention it, but they're hardy little cars for single-seaters. This is a good little battle here towards the end between Charlie Summers and Sam Sanders. Still Sam Dimolo. Sam Dimolo is now pressuring Matt Hale, actually. Yeah. This is over 16th place. So this is not just pole in the B final. This is the final promotion spot right here. Kieran Harrison is going to cross the line to take the win. So great job by him. But this is where the attention needs to be for the final promotion spot.
And it could be a drag to the line here. Oh, is Tom Stalker's going to get in there as well? Kirith Kalirai has fallen out of position. He's down another spot. See here the tyres struggling there on Matt Hale's car. So Harrison is through, Adam State, Tim Penny, Charlie Summers, Sam Sanders. That's your top 5. Steve Hicks, Cameron Watson all through. Craig Brown, top driver in C2, is going to be through. Luke Tomlinson, Andy Dawson all through. But Matt Hale's going to hold on here for that P16. Goes automatically into the A final, as does James Fairmont's Matt Salmon. The single C3 runner through. Jack Eyre, after the problem, recovers to P13. Dan Gamblin and Murray Adams also in the top 16. Well, a dramatic race there, particularly for that last spot in the A final. William Doyle carrying on round, by the way. Quite a bit of drama there. And I think what it tells us is that the B final, when we get to in a short few moments' time, Howard, is going to be even more dramatic.
Yes, it is, as you say, mate. Still a few drivers just coming around to finish their race. But yeah, if these cars had headlights, I reckon we'd have seen Matt Hale flashing them as he came across the line there. I think that was that would have felt quite the result there after having to battle so hard for it, particularly in the latter half of that race. But yeah, it's interesting. I think some really good heads-up driving. Yes, we saw a few accidents and incidents, but actually it felt relatively tame. You know, there were just, I didn't see anything too egregious personally. I thought, you know, and to see the whole field get through the first lap as cleanly as they did, I think was very impressive.
It was indeed. So a short few moments' time, we'll be getting going with the next race, which will be the B final. And the job will be for drivers to qualify through in the top 4 to get onto the grid for the A final, to make that a 20-car race. Just trying to turn the volume of the cars up for folks at home as well. Let us know. We're pushing the boundaries, I think, tonight. We've cranked things up to 11, which maybe we shouldn't have cranked up to 11, but never mind. We're in the midst of it now for this next race. So gridding up for the B final. Sam Dimolo will have pole position. Tom Stalker alongside on the front row. Kirith Kalirai and Tom Dix on row 2, Simon Delamere and Richard Sanders row 3, Will Doyle and David Whitehouse row 4, and Tom Kemping completing the grid. Ready to go then. Lights coming on here in Barcelona, 5 lights. Away for the B final we go. Good start for Tom Stalker, who's going to pull up alongside Sam Dimolo as they run towards turn number 1. Kirith Kalirai and Tom Dix will be looking for their opportunities to get through. who's going to be the latest of the breakers down into turn 1. Sam Dimlow's had a very good second phase to his start and will have the lead as they head up through turn number 3. So it's Dimlow from Stalker, Dix, Calirai. If those four can work together, they could romp away with these places to get into the A final, but that is easier said than done here in the F4s.
Yeah, now nominally you would expect the likes of Tom Dix and William Doyle as Class 1 drivers to get up to the front here, Andrew, but that can be its own form of pressure, of course, right? It's easier said than done, and yeah, they've got to work together with the drivers around them here, I think. It's going to be interesting to see how this one develops. Stalker through turn 9.
We've had a message.
Tom Dix.
We've had a message from Sam Sanders as to what happened on that first lap. His screen froze, so that's what happened to Sam there. But he was able to recover from that and get back into the race, and we'll see him again in the A final. Oh, looking around the outside there is Tom Dix. Is that going to work? He may have the inside line for the next corner if he can stay up alongside Tom Stalker here, and that's very nicely done by Tom Dix. Will take P2 in the early stages of this one. Good first lap for Sam Dimlow. This, Howard, he's already breaking away and on the verge of breaking the toe.
Yeah, opportunities though for William Doyle at the back of this now. He's in 5th place. He wants to be one better if he wants to qualify for the A final, and critically he's got no pressure from behind, so all of his attention here can be on attempting to deprive Kieran Calirai ahead of him of this position down the inside at turn 1. Classic textbook move at Catalunya, and he's got the job done, Andrew. That's a big move there for William Doyle. It
is indeed, but I think if you're in Kieran's shoes at the moment, you just keep plugging away. There's a good gap to Richard Sanders behind, and all of it takes is for one of these drivers to make one mistake, and he's sitting on a 4th place there and 20th on the grid for the A final.
Struggling not to get a manner vibe from Kieran's scheme as far as it's showing through to me. I don't know if you've got different livery showing for you, mate, but I've got
a red, white and blue for Kieran tonight.
Yeah, I'd say I'm getting a Manor F1 vibe from it as
yeah.
William Doyle is down the inside of Tom Stalker. Yeah, we're talking that era of Manor, we're not talking sports car Manor. Ahead, Tom Dix challenging Sam Dimlow as well. But this is a tasty little battle here between 3rd, 4th and 5th. William Doyle fancying having Tom Stalker as that buffer. Here is your lead battle.
It's been a good lap this from Tom Dix, hasn't it, Howard? Because that gap, what was it, around second and a half at the end of lap number 1 has been pulled in quite dramatically here by Tom Dix, and he's going to be in perfect position to go for the lead here as they go across the start finish and head on to lap 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Dimlow's going to go defensive here. Tom Dix, oh blimey, I thought there was going to be a coming together. It's a wide enough track for these Formula 4 cars, but Tom Dix on the outside line, he's already got the job done by the time they're turning in.
Oh, I heard a crunch.
That is a change of lead.
I heard a crunch behind. And I think something happened to Tom Stalker. He's in the gravel there. I think they was going side by side with Kieran Calirai, 4P4. Oh, we didn't quite see that.
Gutting for Tom.
Yeah, we didn't quite see what happened there on our stream. I'm sure we'll be able to see it back later because Kieran is streaming himself at the moment. But in fact, I'm going to take advantage of that and try and go and do some investigative stream watching, Howard, to see what happened there between Calirai and Stalker.
Yep. I say Tom Kemping has already retired from this race, so we will next see him in the super final. I've just realised that this may be the first race in my life I've commentated on where a third of all entrants were called Tom. So there you go, always something new. Here's David Whitehouse now. Does he have a feeling, Andrew? Well, surely he does have a slight feeling of what might have been off of the back of the last race, and that's not going to work for Simon Delamere on the outside there, off of where all the grip is, and manages to spin it round. What that means, Andrew, is that David Whitehouse now, yes, he's got 5th place. He hasn't really got anyone to work with to try and get onto the back of the top 4 ahead of him. So the opportunity is there, but it's going to be a tough one for him to seize by himself.
So I've had a look. It's an odd one for Tom Stalker. Was defending to the inside. Kirith went round the outside. I would say from Kirith's angle left sufficient room. And then the blue and black car of Tom Stalker kind of just whips itself round the front right of Calirai's car. Wonder whether there may have been a bit of net code at play in that one. But sadly, the result is that Tom Stalker is down in 8th place in this race now.
Interesting. Not a case of ambition over adhesion then.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Okay. William Doyle past Sam Dimolo up into 2nd place, and thus demonstrating what we theorised at the start, that the 2 Class 1 runners would work their way up to the front. Yeah, it doesn't take away from how they've managed to do it nice and cleanly. It's always good to see. But yeah, it's a long time that they're gonna. Well, we've still got over half the race to go, so they're gonna have to keep the focus, keep the pace, don't start battling too much between yourselves, all the usual discipline.
Thank you for tuning in. You're watching live coverage of this new round, the 4th round of the 2023 Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. Apologies to Renegade. I don't know why the AI's gone sentient again and started banning people in the chat. Apologies, folks. Thank you for your comments. Keep them coming in. If you enjoy the stream, press that like button. Thank you to the new subscribers who joined us recently as well. To Power Alfie, who has been one of those in recent moments, and Wise Fish today as well. Thank you both. And if you have also joined and subscribed, and I've not mentioned your name, apologies, it'll be a Google settings thing. But here we are, Tom Dix and William Doyle. I think these are the 2 drivers we would have expected at the front of this B final, Howard. They've worked their way to the front very well. Onto the back straight. These drivers have just got to see it through now. Sorry, mate.
That's all right, as you say, mate. Yeah, our 2 Class 1 drivers to the front of the field, as we were saying earlier, can be its own pressure, right? That you think, well, on balance, nominally, I'd expect to get to the front of this. It's easier said and thought than done. And the more you can think about it, the more you can feel like it falls apart. I remember, I always used to have a slight. I still feel it a little bit. I've started to take it a little bit more in my stride. But when you load into an iRacing lobby and you're given number 1, which indicates that you are the highest I rating, as we've got a potential move on for the lead here. Down the inside of Tom Dix goes William Doyle. Nicely judged there into turn 1. And that is job done for Doyle for the time being. Nice, clean pass, textbook move here at the Circuit de Catalunya. This is the closest battle on track at the moment, and it's for the lead.
Is indeed.
But, yeah, when you get given that number 1 coming into a lobby, there can be a certain pressure. Like, oh, okay, I'm the highest I-rated driver in this server. I should probably deliver. So yeah, it's I think everyone who does iRacing has had that at some point, and it's about keeping a cool head and just trying to get confidence from it, rather than worrying too much about it. As that wasn't the best turn 9 there for Doyle, and I wonder if this is going to allow Tom Dix to come back at him down this back straight.
Could well do. So, as long as
Dix wants to take advantage of it, of course, and doesn't just want to hold station now, knowing that he's in the pound seats for the A final.
So the A final follows this race. Another 11 laps for drivers here in Barcelona. We will then have a short break possibly reset servers and form up a super final. So same as we saw at Hockenheim for the GT3s, which was an absolutely cracking evening of racing. If you missed that, you can watch that back here on the DDMM YouTube channel. So 2 more races after this one. Oh, what's happened there? So a blipping driver for a moment there, possibly, as we went to the scenic cam. Simon Delamere continuing in 8th place. Kirith Kalirai continuing to hold on to 4th at the moment. He's got a decent gap over David Whitehouse of 3.1 seconds. Howard is doing the business.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Here, it might not feel like he's doing the business because it's slightly lonely running at the moment. But yeah, exactly where he wants to be. Just got to keep lapping consistently. There is David Whitehouse into turn number 4, who, out of all the drivers now, I think will probably be pushing harder than any of them. But as I say,
yeah,
it's no easy thing to push like this. You've got no buddy to go with, right? You can't work. I know you said you can't bump draft, but still you can work together.
Well, he's closing in because
he is
0.8 of a second has gone from Kalirai's gap over Whitehouse on this lap alone into the final sector. And if you are Whitehouse, you have just got to push for broke, haven't you? 5th place, 6th place, 7th, 8th, and 9th. It doesn't really make much difference to David in this situation, but that 4th place and a spot through to the A final, that could be huge.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. There's nothing to lose for him in many ways. He's got to push as hard as he can.
Down the main straight then. Yeah, it took a second out of Kalirai last time around. 1:43.9 for Whitehouse compared to a 1:45.1 for Kalirai. That was 8/10 off his best. Meanwhile, for Whitehouse, it was a new personal best. 4 laps to go, including the one that they're on. This is not done yet. Gap is under 2 seconds. Kalirai seems to be making a couple of errors here, Howard. He's maybe starting to feel the pressure a little bit.
Yeah, well, again, when you know, there's nothing. Not only does David not have a buddy, but Kirith doesn't have a buddy either. That is to say, the only thing for Kirith Kalirai to focus on right now is that David Whitehouse is closing on him. He'll see that, he'll feel that as well. And it's just a case of him focusing on his lines, doing his best. But that's easier said than done when the pressure is being brought to bear over a critical spot, such as this final promotion spot into the A final.
At this rate, Whitehouse is going to catch here and have an opportunity. It was 3 seconds 2 laps ago, 2 laps 1 lap ago, and it's going to be about 1.2, 1.3 seconds. No, it's coming right down. It's going to be a second. So Whitehouse is closing at a second a lap and is now less than a second behind with 3 laps to go here in the B final for the last spot into the A final. Hard on the brakes into turn number 1. Good apex there from David Whitehouse. You can see visibly closing in now, and now is going to have the benefit of a bit of a slipstream.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be feeling that benefit now, as you say. This is game on, isn't it, for the final promotion spot? David Whitehouse, having been so close in that first race, has clawed himself back into this position where he can grasp the final promotion spot into this A final.
It's been a sterling drive from David Whitehouse. The gap behind is some 16 seconds. Back to Tom Stalker, Simon Delamere running in 7th, Tom Sanders 8th, and Tom Kemping didn't take 9. Didn't take any of the racing laps here. But Whitehouse starting to build up now, getting a little bit of understeer though as he's in the dirty air now. There's a little bit of that effect even on these Formula 4 cars. Probably a bit too far back on this occasion, but could set up an opportunity into turn 1 here.
Yeah, now there's, I was going to say, I hoped he wasn't going to go for it into the Lukacs hairpin then, Andrew, because there is no point rushing this. That start-finish straight towards turn 1 is going to be your best opportunity by far.
Through the last 2 corners. The run through this final corner crucial. You can see David Whitehouse just lifting off a little bit early to try and get the slingshot, get some clean air over that little front wing here in the Formula 4 car. Has he got enough power? Has he got enough slipstream to get alongside Kirith Kalirai in the final part of this straight? He's going to have a go. He's going to have to look to the outside. Is he going to try and get Kirith Kalirai offline there? Gives him a lot of respect. Just needed to be a bit further alongside to realistically make that one work, I think there, Howard.
Yeah, absolutely. Just needs to have that slightly stronger run, but plenty of opportunities still to come for him here. Through turn 4, infamous for Spanish Grand Prix of 2016, where a certain couple of Mercedes teammates managed to take each other out. Other historic moments here. That 2016 Grand Prix ended up being the first race victory for a certain Max Verstappen. And that was a few years after the incredible win in 2012 for a certain Pastor Maldonado. Plenty of history around this track. Play a circuit that's really made that transition during, you know, I don't know if I would call it a classic. It's not a classic in the way that a Spa or a Monza or a Silverstone is, but it's yeah, a modern classic. I think is fair enough. It's you know, it's been around for a long time now and produced some good races. Not always, but yeah, some good stuff on the whole. We're on to the last lap though, Andrew. Yep. This is the last tour of the circuit, providing an opportunity for a change here for 4th place. Once again, the closest battle is for the final promotion spot.
It's this run down into turn 1 is going to be the best opportunity, but Whitehouse is simply not close enough to Kirith Kalirai there into turn 1. They have a go here. Get a good run through turn 3, but oh, you see the front axle straining there. It's not got the clean air across the aerodynamics. It would be a big dive from here. Whitehouse is having a look. Kalirai just takes a semi-defensive line, apexes a touch early just to ward Whitehouse off, but that means his run off of turn 4 isn't particularly strong. Now Whitehouse goes for the outside line. Kalirai may have to give him room, and does give him room. This is where Whitehouse and Hale had their contact in the first race. And Kalirai's really having to work hard now to keep David Whitehouse behind. Is there going to be a run on the inside? Kalirai gets the door shut very well there, very safely, very fairly, but this has got to be the opportunity now. Can Whitehouse get up alongside and dive into the Lukacs hairpin? I don't think he's close enough, Howard.
No, I don't think it quite worked for him through the right-hander at 9, and it would have to be quite the dive. That is a good effort from Whitehouse, but that is going to be really tough now to recover that one. William Doyle, though, is going to come round to take the win in our B final tonight and bag his spot in the A final. Tom Dix follows him home in the Golf McLaren livery. Sam Dimolo will cross the line to take 3rd, but there is Kirith Kalirai, who will breathe a sigh of relief. And fair play to David Whitehouse. He gave it his all there. He gave us it all. I have to say that's one of his. I think that's one of his most. What do I want to say? I'm impressed by his effort in that race.
Yeah.
You know, I really galvanised himself. He had the disappointment in the first race. Really, as I said earlier, clawed his way back up there. That was a really, that was good perseverance. That's the word I'm trying to think of. That was a persevering drive from David there, and fair play to him. We will see him again in the super final.
We will do. We will do indeed. I think it also shows the competitiveness of this championship now that David's not done much wrong across the course of the last 2 races. Unfortunately, just misses out on the A final. So you can say Howard will have another opportunity to race in the super final later on this evening. At least have a bit of a rest now and enjoy watching the A final here on the DDMM stream. If you're enjoying the coverage, do make sure that you click that like button. If you're new around here as well, why not subscribe for more content here on DDMM. Oh, that dastardly screen's come up again. But we're going to get ready for the A final now, Howard. And well, Kieran Harrison pretty much ran away with the first race. It's down to all the rest of them to pull something out the bag and see if they can make a difference in this next race. That is going to be after a warm-up though. I've forgotten that bit. So we're going to have a short break here on the commentary and be back very, very soon for more racing action here from Circuit de Catalunya in the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. Welcome back, everybody, to live coverage of round 4 for the 2023 Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. We're here at Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya for the first appearance this year of the IR04, or as we should now call it, officially the FIA Formula 4 car. Good bit of news for iRacing being announced in the week, that they're having an official tie-in now with iRacing for recognising the Formula 4 car model as official, and it'll be interesting to see how what's done with that working relationship going forward.
Definitely, I think that's a really good positive piece of iRacing news. It will be interesting to see how they get on with that, and anything more that comes from that, really. I want to declare, by the way, I got a bit of F1 trivia wrong earlier.
You did?
It wasn't 96 that it was first raced. It was 1991. I was out by 5 years.
I wasn't going to mention it.
I think I was thinking of Schumacher's first victory in a Ferrari, I want to say.
Yeah.
There we go. Here's a grid. Kieran Harrison and Adam State, your front row. Tim Penny and Charlie Summers on row 2. Sam Sanders and Steve Hicks are row 3 with Cameron Watson and Craig Brown, the first of the Class 2 runners, in 8th place. Luke Tomlinson and Andrew Dawson round out your top 10. Murray Adams and Dan Gamblin make up row number 6. And I think we're going to have to look straight away here at the start, because we are a go. Here they are. Kieran Harrison will lead them away as they barrel towards turn number 1 for the first time. The 20 cars that have made it into the A final. And that's down the inside for Adam State. And is he going to go too deep there? He is going to go deep. Kieran Harrison's going to try and get him back around the outside in the 93, and duly does so. Adam State manages to hang on to second place, though, but he's out wide there through 3.
A really, really feisty start there from our A finalists, knowing that there's a good opportunity for them to get some strong points in tonight's event. Won't be the final race, of course, still the super final to come up, but Harrison from State then in the early stages of this one. Tim Penny there in the green Nomad Racing entry. Sam Sanders, the number 34 as well. Looks like everybody is still running strongly. Oh, with the exception of Charlie Summers. I've not got Charlie Summers showing us going around the circuit at the moment, so something's happened there to the number 35. Out a bit wide was Tim Penny. May be under attack here from Sam Sanders. Adam State's having a go at Kieran Harrison as they go into sector number 3. This is a much better start, you'd say, than the first race for Adam State. This is what we want to see.
Yeah, I think he's got his eyes on the prize here, Andrew. I think he might be a little tired of Kieran being at the front and just wanting to really give him a fight as they come round to finish lap number 1. Here is the biggest challenge that we have seen to Kieran Harrison coming into this evening, as there's a few people going very wide there. Jack Eyre and Craig Brown,
Tim Penny slow.
Tomlinson, sorry.
Tim Penny slow. I didn't know the gravel had that much grip. It was remarkable the number of cars going through. Tim Penny's had a problem there. Has spun off. There's something very strange going on physics-wise for Tim Penny, but Tim Penny is out.
Yeah, well, must have been a big hit. You mentioned him going slowly, Andrew, and all of that Adam State has got by on Kieran Harrison, so he had the run and he's now trying to break away as Sam Sanders now challenges Kieran Harrison.
Well, this has been a very... In fact, it's Kieran Harrison missing a front wing. Is Kieran Harrison missing a front wing? I think he is.
He is missing a front wing, so that I think that might have been lost whilst battling with Adam State into turn 1, Andrew, because he was all right for the first lap, but whilst we were looking at whatever happened to Tim Penny, there's damage there to that 93 car. Now, these aren't massively aero. Aero isn't the biggest aspect of these cars' grip, but that's certainly going to be having, you can see the understeer, in fact, through 9 there. It's certainly going to be having an impact. Steve Hicks pulls alongside now, will get by.
Well, he's got to come in. Surely, if you're Kieran Harrison, you've got to come into the pits and take advantage of the fast repair. He is fighting back, though. Kieran Harrison doesn't need a front wing. They should get that on the T-shirt.
It's going to hurt so much through this final sector, Andrew. He's going to have such poor...
Yeah, and he's got to get across. He's got to get across, and he can't get across.
He can't. As he's got more shenanigans further back. Craig Brown having a wide moment.
He should be rapid down this bit. He's got no drag off the front of the car now.
Yeah, but Cameron Watson's gaining on it as well, as ahead of them. Luke Tomlinson and Steve Hicks are doing battle over 3rd place. Luke Tomlinson round the outside. He's got to keep that pointing the right way, and does so. This long right-hander, Andrew, is where it's really going to hurt.
Contact there between Tomlinson and I think it was it. It's absolute chaos. This won't cause a safety car because we're beyond lap number 1. But it was that Cameron Watson down the inside of Luke Tomlinson. They made contact that took Kieran Harrison. Well, Kieran Harrison's picked up more damage, but also gone from that Sam Dimolo, Tom Dix. Kirith Cali-Wright had a touch there as well. That was a real mess through the exit of turn 3.
Yeah, absolutely. That has gone a little bit pear-shaped. I'm trying to find... Who's still circulating on this circuit?
Who is left?
Andrew Dawson, I think, is left. There he is. Well, goodness me. That was a big one. That's one of the biggest incidents we've seen in a little while in this championship, Andrew. But not a lot those drivers could do, really, once it all started concertinaing up. And that means, by the way... Go on.
I was just wondering, was that another one of those netcode ones that Cameron Watson, it was a brave one down the inside. He's trying to get the delta speed to work and have the move up the inside into turn number 4.
Yeah, Luke Tomlinson I can actually see saying on the lobby chat, I'm not sure if I left enough room, but I think I got net decoded.
Yeah.
So it was a close run thing. It does mean that our winner of the B final, William Doyle, now finds himself in 4th place.
What a run. What a run indeed. So this car's coming in and Kieran Harrison has come in. Now, in a way, that incident's worked quite nicely for him because he can come in, get a fast repair and not have as much of a loss in terms of positions because there are so many cars out of this race and towing back to pit lane as we speak.
Yeah, it's a good point, Andrew. Wow, these pit lane cameras are a long view. Let's not bother with those as he emerges from the pits. I know it's a long pit lane, but blimey. There he is. He's emerged and he's in 12th place. Change
at the front of the order. Sam Sanders leads the race. So there is your race leader. and leads by some 4 seconds over Steve Hicks. Message from Tim Penny. Couldn't get rid of the slowdown, got a penalty, checked where safe to rejoin, drifted and hit a bump. Was the problem for Tim Penny. Well, he's back out on circuit
circulating now. How's he writing that? No, it's fine. He was. I assume he did that whilst he was towed.
Evening to Lee Henderson as well, who's stepping up in the sim world. He messaged me the other day. Good to hear that you're getting on board for some console racing, Lee. He said you can hear the Club 100 penalty board going mad. I will see. I know it was dramatic. I think from the viewings I've had so far of it, I'll probably put that down to just kind of being a racing incident. We'll review it more in due course, of course. That's always Adam State runs a bit deep, and I wonder if it's Adam State running with a bit of damage here.
It's Murray Adams, I think, who was running wide there. Oh no, sorry. Yeah,
they were all running wide.
They were all running wide, to be fair. But yeah, Adam State definitely feeling the pressure. William Doyle under attack still by Murray Adams. Good battle between Craig Brown and Matt Salmon behind as well. Still some good battles here, even though a lot of the field. And then, do you know what? I think many of them are just emerging back out of the pits now. Here's Tom Dix. And Cameron Watson as well. So we've actually got a lot of drivers still in this race. In fact, only Charlie Summers is showing us out.
Yeah.
But goodness me, we've got quite a discrepancy between some of them.
And you look at your B final drivers as well. As you say, William Doyle currently up in 4th. Kirith Kalirai, having held on that attack from David Whitehouse, is up in the top 10. Matt Hale, who of course hung on at the end of the heat race, he's also up in the top 10. This is a big opportunity for some of these drivers to score not just round points but strong championship points as well. And you consider that when we get to the super final, there is a partial reverse grid on it. At the moment, Matt Hale is going to be sitting on a super final pole position.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. And yeah, I'm just monitoring this gap that Kieran Harrison was about 9 seconds when he emerged from the pits. He's got the gap down to 5 seconds before he'll be with the pack proper. Here is one of the battles going on in the pack proper. Craig Brown now under pressure from Kirith Kalirai, and I think that's because an attempt to get past Matt Salmon didn't pay off for him. In the McLaren Honda livery. That's the successful McLaren Honda era.
I think what we've also got to say here, what a job Matt Salmon's doing in 7th place.
Yep.
I think it says, Kalirai's going to be up the inside there. Brown got out wide. Brown will fight back though as they go down into the next corner.
This is Matt Hale versus Andrew Dawson. That's a little further back.
Yeah, Craig Brown did get back through. I think based on what we've seen so far, as Matt Salmon has a bit of a problem, I was just about to say, is very likely, I think, to be promoted to Class 2. Now, the benefits of that is, one, he'll still keep his points. He'll just be reclassified into Class 2. But also will then have the opportunity of winning some of the prizes later on in the season.
Yes.
Which
yes,
you
absolutely.
don't get if you're in Class 3.
Correct. Class 3, very much that. Opportunity for newer drivers to cut their teeth in this Club 100 iRacing Championship. It's not about worrying about an entire championship campaign. It's about improving your racecraft, improving your pace, and looking onwards and upwards from there.
So there's your race leader, Sam Sanders. It's actually coming up on Cameron Watson to potentially lap Cameron Watson. If you're just joining us, it's been quite a dramatic A final so far here tonight at Circuit de Catalunya. About halfway through it, just gone halfway through it. Here comes Andrew Dawson down the inside. Now this is an important move here, Howard, because not only is it for 10th place in this race, it is also for pole position in the super final. Dawson's got it done.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is pole position in the super final. It's also who gets to be the first person that Kieran Harrison catches in his recovery drive, because there he is in the background.
Yes, so this would be quite a turnaround, wouldn't it, if Kieran Harrison, after having lost his front wing earlier in this race, in a battle with Adam State, could actually end up being on pole position for the super final here, and that really would be a bit of a blow for the competition, because on recent form that would lead us to believe that we would see Kieran Harrison gallop away with that one. I was fearing that. I heard one of those unmistakable, well, clearly was mistakable because it wasn't in this case, iRacing crunch noises, and I was fearing it was Matt Hale. It wasn't. He's fine, still running.
That may have been one of your greatest Murrayisms ever, mate.
Yes. Hearing things
but yes.
now.
I gotta say, the number of different manufacturers' badges I've seen on these liveries, I wonder who actually makes this Formula 4 car. But it's opportunity for Kieran Harrison as he rounds the final corner of the lap. He's going to be in the wheel tracks of Matt Hale. This isn't particularly significant, mind. It just goes to show that him getting that damage repaired has not prevented him from starting to work his way up. And of course, Andrew, if he can get himself up into 10th place,
yep,
he's on pole position. I
think he's probably thinking bigger picture in that case in terms of the number of points that he can pick up. I'd say there's a theory that just getting into 10th place here and then having that pole position is going to have a less risk in terms of point return. He gets past Matt Hale there for 11th.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's exactly his thinking. We cut back to the battle over 3rd place.
I don't know if it was intentional.
Murray Adams has crashed. Murray Adams has crashed. I've just seen on time. There we go. Incident for Murray Adams. Not sure what happened then.
Now that was the noise that I thought I heard. I thought I heard it again, and that time it was someone having a bit of a moment.
I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was you've got on the. There's obviously the sausage curb on the exit of turn 8.
Yep.
Which can then spin you off to driver's left.
I think he's got damage as well. I think there's damage there on that car, and through go Dawson and Harrison into 9th and 10th places. Well, if you Murray Adams, there's that opportunity of pole. Oh yeah, look, he's left hand down a long way. There goes Matt Hale through and into 11th place, and Murray Adams is going to have to pit in now, at least by having been able to drive it back to the pit lane. He is going to get a bit of a benefit here over the others who had to tow earlier in the race. So I think he'll lose position to James Fremont, but then he's got 1 minute and 25 back to Tom Dix.
I hope they offer to check his tracking for free. I think he's earned it.
Yes. Murray Adams gets the car stopped. Here's the fight for 3rd place. Adam State and William Doyle. I was about to mention, I don't know if it was deliberate or not, but I'm getting very much like a mid-2010s Vettel and Raikkonen Ferrari vibe from Adam's colours of choice.
Yep. Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Should mention, of course, those are also the colours of Cardiff University, which is probably more the link. He's trying to fend off William Doyle here, and is William Doyle going to have a look down the inside of the championship leader? No, thinks better of it.
I'm getting an Arden vibe.
Oh yes. Now
that might be a bit of a niche
we're showing our age. So 9 laps completed of this race. Sam Sanders on for race victory here, 2.5 seconds ahead of Steve Hicks at the moment. 2 laps to go. This is your battle for 3rd place. Adam State and William Doyle. We do wonder, is there a bit of damage on Adam State's car? We know there was damage to Kieran Harrison's car, and those two were close together earlier on in this race. William Doyle looking down the inside, trying to get Adam State off the racing line to compromise his corner exit. This is where we saw the chaos of the pile-up on lap number 3. Lanham State doing a very good job at the moment, being able to defend from William Doyle, who's already raced through the B final here tonight. Keep your comments coming in. Hope you're enjoying the stream. To David Whitehouse who's in the chat. He's telling us that Murray, yes, did hit the sausage curb at turn 8 and went into the wall. That was the cause of the problems there for Murray Adams.
Yeah, I say it's easily done. We see, you know, often you're pushing through that corner as hard as you can, trying to carry as much speed, but the sausage curb is there to punish those who go too hard. And William Doyle's round. That's very uncharacteristic, and he's going to recover it, I think, without losing any positions. But
yeah,
that was extremely unlike William Doyle there.
Yeah, so he had a good gap over Dan Gamblin in 5th, who's having a really good race. He's gone under the radar a bit tonight as Dan Gamblin, another new driver to the championship this year.
Yeah, that's car behind us immediately. No, it's Sam Dimolo,
yeah,
who's a lap down after being one of the cars involved in the incident earlier on.
Yeah. Fight here between
this is for position, though.
Kirith Kalirai and Craig Brown. Craig Brown to the inside now. This is over 6th position. And simple move there for Craig Brown. Just missed the apex a little bit through turn number 1. Saw a flash of Dan Gamblin going through the shot there, 2.5 seconds ahead of this duo.
Here's your pole sitter, provisionally, for the super final, though. Andrew Dawson in the 23.
The other thing to consider for Andrew Dawson, who is still early stages of this season, would expect to be one of the C2 championship contenders. This is a very good race. It's obviously in the bigger picture of the whole round and the whole championship, but you know, Murray Adams has been in trouble in this race. Luke Tomlinson's been in trouble in this race. This is a good one for Andrew Dawson to pick up some points on his championship rivals, and if he's then going to have pole position for the super final by holding this 10th place, there's a great chance for him to score big tonight.
Absolutely. Sam Sanders, though, is going to come around here, Andrew, and take the win. We've not seen too much of him, but that is testament to how well he has controlled this one. The fight was taken to Kieran Harrison, and it paid off. Sam Sanders takes the win. Steve Hicks in 2nd. Adam State holds on to 3rd place, and William Doyle will come home in 4th after his little moment at Lecaxa a couple of laps ago. Dan Gamblin finishes highest of your Class 2 drivers.
Very good. Very, very good stuff indeed there from Dan Gamblin.
Agreed. Craig Brown holds off Kirith Kalirai for 6th. And they're coming across the line quicker than I can catch up with them is what's happening there. There we go. James Fremont across the line. Murray Adams, here he is. Then, to be honest, Andrew, it's a really long wait until the next person who's for position. Because they're all recovering drivers. In fact, most of them have crossed the line. Tom Dix here will come around to finish. Andrew Dawson finished 10th to take pole position for that super final. We'll have a brief break ahead of that. Sam Sanders, your winner for this A final. Kieran Harrison in the end able to recover up to 8th place.
Yes, so a very interesting result that, and leaves lots of things to be decided for when we get into the super final. Tom Dix comes over the line to finish in 14th place, and the remaining car out there on circuit will be Cameron Watson. There is Cameron Watson. He managed to hold on the lead lap after being right in the middle of all that chaos through turn 3 in the early stages of the race. Sam Dimolo, Tim Penny, Luke Tomlinson, Jack Eyre and Charlie Summers all off the lead lap. Wow, what drama there in race in the A final. the penultimate race of the evening. We'll take a short break here on the DDMM live stream and be back shortly for the super final. Can he hold that gap? Isaac Lord has got past Ben Page now. That's for 7th place. Go either into crucial Iredale's corner. Has Davis got the run? He's not going to be able to get the run surely down here into the Stuart Essence, but he's got the run, he's gone for a big move. Switchback by Weaver, read it beautifully, saw it coming, kept the steering open, let Ben Davis come into the inside, and he still held on to the lead. That was brilliant racing by all three of them here, and I think that's going to be the crucial moment, because Joe Weaver, unlike 24 hours ago, is not going to need to do the overtake on the last lap. Joe Weaver takes the double in Senior Rotax Round 2 of Super 1 2022. Line on row 11, Jake Wilkins and Andrew Ravage on row 12, and then we'll have our 2 qualifiers from the B final. Bryn Albin and Dean Everest form up the 26 entries for this, the lightweight sprint A final for round 9 of the 2022 Club 100 Senior Sprint Championship. 12 minutes on the clock. Green light, great start for Mike Coppin, sweeps across the front. It's a hugely important race this for the championship at the start of the run into the end of the season. Coppin versus Brunton, early advantage, Howard, to Mike Coppin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last tour of the circuit. White flag is going to be out this time. If they get past the line, it will run to the end. There they go. Oh, it's a big moment for Chris Hansen. He's gone round. Is that going to take anybody else? Yes, it does. Kelly Wright's gone. Hart's gone. Dix has gone. My goodness me, the race is going to keep running though. It's not going to go under caution now. On the last lap, it's 3 of them. Sanders has the lead. He's going to hold the inside. There's not really much help for Brendan at all. He's going to try and get the side draft working here. He's pulling alongside. They're side by side as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a run to the line here for the Simply Catnip 200. It's really close between them. Is Sanders going to hold it? Oh, there's a bit of contact there on the line. It's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. It's Preston. It's Michael.
Stages of this race. Ross Witherow is digging deep again. Has got down to a 32.435 now. It's about a tenth of an. Oh, he's gone for it. Big send. My goodness me. Ross Witherow, brave as anything, on the brakes into the final corner, takes the lead of the race. That was a superb, awesome overtake, and now is Ryan McGinnis going to respond back here? He's looking for the inside now. 6 minutes have expired. That came from miles back from Ross Witherow. Kevin Shine is continuing to go round, by the way. Really, he can drive, he's just not got a lot of power in the number 22. And oh my god, down the outside attempting. That is an outrageous manoeuvre. Oh, we saw one lap ago. That was even better from Ryan McGinnis. And over the line to take the racing room left by Whitefoot on the outside there. Good news for David Whitehouse. I think he's got away. He just needs to get through Ascari Chicane and Curva Alboreto, and he's got a great result here. Tom Dix just holding in front of Steve Hicks there. Dix and Hicks at the moment on the outside of the top 10. They need to get up 2 positions if you're Steve Hicks to get on the front row for contact. That's going to be a big one. Into the wall goes Dix and Hicks. Through goes Ian Sumner. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to live coverage on Alpha Live of the 6th and final round for Rotax Max Challenge Switzerland 2022. My name's Andrew Mather. Great to be with you here at the historic Kart Barn Vollen circuit on the 1st of October 2022. We're here in northern Switzerland for this season finale, and it's got all the ingredients to be an absolute cracker here today. Here's your circuit, 815 metres in length, 12 turns, technical, in its 60th year as well, 60 years of racing here at Vollen. The circuit established in 1962.
It's Michael Lenz. Oh, Michael Lenz, who had a great finish to heat number 2. Something has gone wrong for him there, and he is out of this race. That's a real shame for Michael Lenz. The driver he overtook for the lead on the last lap of heat number 2 goes by him. Samuel Lithgrid, what a season it has been. He's going to finish it in the best way. The junior champion for the last 2 years.
was at Grand Final in 2021. He's going to be there again in 2022 as the senior Rotax Max champion. Samuel Ifrid takes the win here at Vollen. Kurt Wenger is going to take the win in Master Max.
Final lap of the 2022 Mini Rock Super Final here at Lonato. Cantan's down the inside, going for the move into turn 4, takes the lead. Has he overshot? It's going to be side by side between the two AV Racing drivers as they approach turn 5. Will be advantage Cantan on the inside, holds onto the lead, but Cosma Christopher is charging along, has closed the gap. This is not over yet. Kalea still there in second place. They're heading towards the last few hairpins now. Cantan defends to the inside. Kalea still there in second. Cosma Christopher can smell that remarkable victory. Cantan's still got the lead of this race. He's got to defend down the inside into the last corner. Get the drive off the final corner. Who's going to be Mini Rock champion for 2022? It's going to be Vivek Cantan. And the title stays in North America for another year. Vivek Cantan wins the lead of the race. Cook is still there in second. Carter's still there in third. They slightly bang wheels. Carter around the outside takes second place. One more opportunity. You've got to think James Roots is still in there as well for the race win. Grayson Wortley, he's got to defend down the inside into Wilkins. He's done just that. He's got to get off the corner. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide. Coming off the corner. Ronnie Carter's gone round the outside. Ronnie Carter becomes champion in the 2022 Super One Miami Bambino Championship with a last corner overtake. Have you ever seen a championship decided like that? What a race win. It's not going to be his first one of the year. Joe Holmes knows the situation. Richard Allen is going to win at Brookmore Park, but for the first time since 2015, Anwar Barul Smith wins. Welcome back, everybody, to live coverage of round 4 for the 2023 Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. Live here at the circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya in Spain. Andrew Mather and Howard Mitchell, your commentary team this evening on the DTMM YouTube channel. And we're getting ready for the super final. All drivers are back in play after our A and B finals for one more 11-lap race here tonight. We're racing around the historic-ish format of the Grand Prix circuit. No funny chicanes, all of that goodness. I say historic-ish because, of course, we now know, Howard Mitchell, that this is the format that the drivers in Formula 1 are going to be back on this this coming weekend. It's not historic at all.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I need to double check that. They're not using the chicane. Are they using... Which Lukaxa are they using?
I think they're using the historic but now new Lukaxa as well.
Okay, fair enough. The historic but new. Here is our pole sitter, by the way, by dint of finishing 10th in the previous race. I'm going to have to declare my ignorance, mate. I can't think of any car that these Golf colours with a BMW badge that doesn't look right in my head.
I want to say, wasn't there a McLaren F1 GTR that used to run in the FIA GT Championship in around 1997 that ran with a darker blue shade of a Golf livery? Let me
I think there was, but I still dispute
it had BMW power.
Oh, do you?
I think they had BMW power. Let me go and have a look.
Okay. I'm gonna check that one out.
Anyway,
you are absolutely right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, because the engine
Fair
in the McLaren
play.
F1 was built by BMW. There we go. See, this is the kind of chats that we're going to be having at Le Mans as we go all full nostalgic. Anyway, the super final tonight, mate. This is an intriguing grid, this, because yes, Andrew Dawson's got pole position, but Kieran Harrison is a little bit behind in the points, but has a very good grid position for this super final and a good opportunity here of taking another round win.
Yeah, absolutely. It is an interesting one. You would, I think, if you were going down the bookies on this one, you would probably say that Kieran Harrison is in the best. Has the best opportunity of the win. I'm just going to double check. No, we can't show you the grid during practice. I wish we could. But yeah, as you say, well, don't count your chickens before they've hatched on that one, I would say, because we saw how much the field challenged Kieran at the start of that last race. So nothing is guaranteed here in the Club 100 iRacing Championship. Here, though, is your grid.
Indeed. So, Kieran Harrison... oh, hang on. This is different to what I was expecting. Kieran Harrison starts in pole position, according to what we've got here. Murray Adams P2, Steve Hicks P3, Adam States 4th, Tom Dixon, Luke Tomlinson on the 3rd row of the grid, Tom Stalker and Andrew Dawson row 4, Craig Brown and Matt Salmon start on the 5th row of the grid. Simon Delamere and Dan Gamblin on row number 6. Richard Sanders and James Fremont reading is on row 7. Sam Sanders and Kirith Kalirai on row 8. Tim Penny and Sam Dimolo on row 9. And Jack Eyre and Will Doyle, Cameron Watson, Matt Hale and David Whitehouse. Are we suspecting that something has gone a little bit awry here?
The grid's wrong.
Yes.
The grid is wrong. They are not. Andrew Dawson is on pole position.
Good. Okay.
Yes.
Ignore everything that I just said, folks.
I don't know where we just pulled that grid from.
So, Sam Sanders leads the round at the moment by 1.5 points. Here we go for the final race of the evening. Andrew Dawson from pole position. Lights out, away we go. Very, very good start for Kieran Harrison, who's had a paint job change. Oh, and there's going to be chaos, and surely this is going to be a safety car on lap number 1. This didn't even get to turn number 1, and it all has kicked off there. Not good at all. Everybody, I think from about 6th down, was in trouble there in that one. That was a real mess.
Yeah, big mess, and it started from pretty high up as well, Andrew. So I think the caution has been shown, but not before Kieran Harrison, who had a rocket start, Andrew, did get himself to the head of the field.
So has indeed. The Asher Racing team have been very busy in the 10-minute, 15-minute break because they've completely repainted the car. Thank you, training paint. So what will happen now is this is obviously going to neutralise the race. Any drivers who had damage on that first lap, and those drivers include Tom Stalker, Luke Tomlinson, Cameron Watson, Adam State, Dan Gamblin, they will all be able to fast repair and get onto the rear of the train. That is Simon Delamare's Martini car, sparking away.
It looks like it's had a few martinis, to be perfectly honest.
I'm going to try and see if... Nope, I don't think my race replay is going to run all the way back to what happened there. It looked to be around from 5th or 6th place, Howard. I can't quite remember who it was. I think there was a bit of lateral movement in the middle of the pack that triggered that one off.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. So the contact was made. It's particularly difficult because we didn't have a valid grid before we got started on this one. In fact, very unusual. I'm going to try and bring up the grid whilst we're in a race here, just see if it did it set itself correctly. No, it doesn't want to show us that one, I don't think.
Never mind.
But I'm just trying to think. So William Doyle was, I think, the highest that we got away with it. Cameron Watson was involved from quite high up, I want to say. In fact, it may have been... Look at this. This is everybody on the pit lane getting their repairs.
So if it looks like some of the cars are having longer repairs, that'll be because they are being towed back in sim at this time. So what we'll be seeing at the driver's end is a countdown clock, in effect, for the point at which they can then commence their fast repairs. There's Kieran Harrison leading this race. This is a bit of an odd one for him because in some ways he's got the whole field behind him and not the opportunity to romp away in the first couple of laps of this race. But you look at some of the drivers who were involved in that first incident, in particular championship leader Adam State, and in some ways, although he probably won't say or he won't be happy that Adam's been involved in an incident, from a championship perspective, that is quite good news for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kirith was one of the first cars impacted by whoever it was who went onto the grass. I'm not sure who that was, Andrew. Someone did a. It was a bit Grosjean at Spa. In many ways. I'm going to do myself a disservice and forget which year that was now. Was it 2015? I can't remember now.
I think so. No, I think it was earlier than that. Never mind.
Yeah, might have. Yes. Anyway, somebody got a little bit excited. And yeah, so we've got drivers who are... So everybody in the pit lane, Andrew, is unfortunately about to go a lap down here because the field are coming round now to lap them.
Yep. Yeah, that really puts pay to those drivers and their chances of a good one here. So the safety car... This is the end of lap 2, should be in at the end of lap number 3. Interestingly, Steve Hicks has come into the pit lane. Now, I'm not quite sure why. Has he got a little bit of damage? Is he reckoning that he's going to need to go back out on track? Well, there he is coming into pit lane. away he goes again.
Yeah,
Sam Sanders is in as well. So Steve Hicks is going to re-emerge here. In, I think, 9th place, just behind David Whitehouse. I think the lights have gone out on the safety car. That's confirming that it will be in at the end of the first lap. Well, there was question as to whether we were going to see a safety car here tonight. And yes, we have indeed.
I don't think any of us expected it to be called before they even reached turn 1, though, mate. That was different.
Yes. So the order on lap number 3 looks like this. Kieran Harrison, car number 93, leads the motor race. Andrew Dawson from pole position in this super final is there, P2. Matt Salmon, the C3 driver. I don't think he's going to be C3 for much longer because he's there up in 3rd place ahead of the B final winner, William Doyle. James Fremont's got a good chance for points here in 5th. Craig Brown 6th, Murray Adams 7th, David Whitehouse 8th, Tim Penny 9th and Jack Eyre 10th. That's it. No disrespect to some of the drivers in there. That is not the top 10 that I thought I would be reading out at the end of the 3rd lap of this race.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's really shaking things up here, and some really good points, Andrew. Not for the first time, because we did have the incident on lap 3 of that A final, didn't we? But some good opportunities here, Andrew, for particularly some of these Class 2 drivers to get some really good points on the board here.
They've got to get through the first couple of laps of this restart, though, which will be coming shortly.
Here is your A final winner, and Sam Sanders, I believe, is the last driver. So Adam State behind him is a lap down. Yeah, so I want to say that Sam Sanders is the first driver. Okay, Richard Sanders is in the queue. Got it. Okay, so Sam Sanders is the last driver on the lead lap.
I can also see that Steve Hicks has been shuffled back to 15th spot, so I'm not quite sure what was being thought through there when Steve Hicks came into the pits, because he's given up 3rd place in terms of track position. Safety car is about to come in and gone down 12 spots into 15th, waiting for Kieran Harrison. He effectively becomes the safety car. Doesn't want to go too early, but will get on the power now to restart the race here in the F4s on iRacing at Circuit de Catalunya. Away goes Kieran Harrison, taking us back to green flag running. Andrew Dawson P2. Looking steady at the moment, Howard, as they head down to turn 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Single file restart means it's not as chaotic as it would have been had we had to send the whole field barreling. But that doesn't stop a few people having a go. That's James Fremont going pretty much straight on. Massive lock up into turn 1.
Yeah, and then has to slow down for the big sausage curbs and loses all those positions after a great start. James Fremont's going to move down outside the top 15. Oh, there's contact. David Whitehouse going slowly. I think Tim Penny was off to driver's left there, and there was another car involved. It was Craig Brown. Craig Brown missing a rear wing there as they come towards turn number 4. Well, the virtual cookies have not worked for Tim Penny tonight. Craig Brown loses control because he's got no rear wing there, and he's going to be out of this race. There he goes, towing to pit lane. Well, what happened there between Craig Brown and Tim Penny? That has really cost them big time.
Yeah, absolutely. Really costly moment for the two of them. Matt Salmon, Class 3 driver, in 3rd place. I don't know if we've ever said that, actually.
No.
Really good stuff. William Doyle, though, is going to fire one down the inside of Lecaxa.
Oh, very nice move there from William Doyle. The rear axle was squirming a bit there in the braking, but William Doyle knew how big that move was for the context of this race. He wants that P2. As round goes David Whitehouse in the Chip Ganassi Target liveried car. Oh boy, we've had some quite relatively calm driving so far tonight, and then it's all kicked off here in the super final.
3rd race, mate. It's like British touring cars. They know they get repaired after this. Oh, Kirith Cali-Rai has got slowdowns there.
Slowdowns out of the final corner. We've seen them a few times tonight. Sam Sanders trying to go past Sam Dimolo there. Sam Dimolo, who survived a very big bump in Hockenheim somehow. Side by side between Murray Adams and William Dawson. Matt Salmon got back through, did he not? Yes, he did.
Yep, he did. So William Dawson there being passed by a Class 3 and a Class 2 driver. Again, something that we don't often say. And, well judged by Murray Adams. I honestly thought he was going to clip the rear there a little bit of Matt Salmon, but judged his braking beautifully there for turn 4. Or turn 5, I should say. For those of you counting along at home. Good run for William Doyle now, though, up through turn 9.
It's clouded over a little bit here at the circuit. Be good news in a way for the drivers. I suspect that ambient air temperatures are a little cooler. Side by side between Doyle and Jack Eyre now. Jack Eyre may have the inside line for the next corner if he can keep his nose up alongside. He's trying. Doyle's giving him space on the inside. Jack Eyre fighting for every corner, doing what he's done so many times so far this season. He's still side by side with William Doyle, but eventually goes through into 5th place. More good overtaking from Jack Eyre there.
Yeah, the number 13 car running well at Catalunya, and that people have been able to say.
Yes. Yes, indeed. William Doyle's going to have a go back here. Once again, the big slipstream available to the Formula 4 cars here at Barcelona coming into effect. William Doyle's going to have to go around the outside. He does have his nose ahead as they approach turn number 1, but Jack Eyre has the track position on the inside and retains 5th place. Into the pits comes David Whitehouse with damage in the 099 car. That's going to pay to any opportunities for David Whitehouse to get a top 10 here in this super final. Looking back now from Andrew Dawson, there is Matt Salmon in only his 2nd ever round in the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship, running up in 3rd place, doing a supreme job.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Applying the pressure, taking the pressure well, getting past and repassing, as we saw with William Doyle. He's really acquainting himself well with this championship, Andrew. As you say, one cannot think he's not long for Class 3, I don't think.
No. I think it's almost guaranteed now that Matt Salmon is going to be promoted up to C2. But the thing with the drop scores, he missed the first 2 rounds of the year. Put together these kind of performances, you're going to be right in there in the mix for Class 2 honours at the end of the season. Those are the cars in the pits and out of this race. Luke Tomlinson, it's a real shame. That's a beautiful livery on Luke's car tonight.
It is, yeah.
We've not really had that much opportunity to see it running out there on track. Craig Brown out of the race as well. David Whitehouse has re-emerged back out on circuit in 15th place. On board now with Steve Hicks moving towards Tom Dix, looking for a run down the inside. Took every little bit of the track and more as they went through the final corner, and this should be Hicks's position. Yeah, 7th place for the Orange Arrows car.
Absolutely. I'm practically reliving F1 career. 90, what years was it? 99 to 02.
What a game.
Yeah, yeah. Still, in my opinion, one of the best F1 games ever launched.
EA, are you listening? That was one of your better ones. Make it again. And with Formula 2 and Formula 3, just saying.
Yes, please. And with more years.
And with more years.
And somehow work out the licensing such that you can go from 99. That'd be amazing.
Yes. You could do like the Jos Verstappen, simulator of you have your own race career and then you have a son and try and get them through to Formula 1 and be world champion as well.
That would be quite the simulator.
This has gone in a completely different direction. Anyway, back to the racing. Murray Adams looking down the inside of Matt Salmon there for 3rd place. Gets 3rd place. Very good move again. Oh, bit of a twitch behind for William Doyle. It's all right. We're past 9 o'clock. We're allowed to talk about that at this time of night. 15 minutes of this race gone. 7 laps. If you're just joining us, we have had a safety car in this race, which is why it's run a little bit longer. On board with Jack Air now, that's Matt Salmon ahead of us in the red and black car with the blue details. Big long run now, and Andrew Dawson at the front of this train still in 2nd place.
Towards the inside, under the brakes. How bold is Jack Air going to be? Very bold.
Oh.
They both keep it within inside track limits, and actually it's Murray Adams who messes up ahead of them, and he's going to lose out to all 3 of them. Is there 3 wide through turn number 3?
Oh my word, how did they get through there unscathed? We've already seen a big one through turn 3 tonight. I thought we were going to see another one, but this just shows the level of driver that we've got in this championship now. The bravery, but also the racecraft to make that work. 3 wide through turn 3. You don't often see that end well.
No, definitely not. I do think on the whole, I know we've seen a few big incidents, but on the whole, I'd echo what I've seen from a few drivers on chat, that the driving standards have been generally pretty good tonight. Oh, twitch there again for Murray Adams. I'm not sure he's as comfortable with this setup, Andrew, as some of the drivers around him. Fixed setups, of course. It's all the same, but not really gelled with it. It's just when he's pushing the absolute limits of it, he doesn't seem quite as happy with the rear.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's a bit twitchy for them out there. A really good race developing at the moment. Looking back from Murray Adams, there is William Doyle in the number 15. Try and get a good run out of the final corner. Tyres being tortured there through that high-speed bend. Sam Sanders, by the way, coming back through the field, is into the top 10, 9th place now. Doyle looking to the outside. I don't think he's looking far enough alongside Murray Adams there. Is that a problem there for Matt Salmon? Yes, it is. He's losing a couple of positions. I think he's got to slow down as well, so he's just trying to burn that one off, and he's going to possibly get caught by those behind. That was Adam State a lap down, wasn't it?
It is Adam State a lap down, so he's doing a sort of useful job because he's not going to attack too hard. Cameron Watson, this actually is the closest battle in the lap down club. Adam State versus Cameron Watson. It's over 17th place. It is for position. It's just not the position they'd like it to be.
8 laps gone then, 3 to go. Kieran Harrison continues to lead this race. We've got a number of really, really good battles further down the order. Still raging on is this Adams and Doyle squabble.
Not too far behind the Jack Air and Andrew Dawson battle either, so if anything they kind of want to work together for a little while, see if that comes to them. Here is your race leader. 2 more laps to go for Kieran Harrison.
Starts a new lap, and at the moment is in position to win the round. I have to say provisionally, because there will be a reviews and protest period, as here comes Doyle down the inside, threading through, getting a little bit of grass on his front right. Can he get it stopped into turn 1? He can. What an overtake there from William Doyle. Murray Adams gave him about the width of a Formula 4 car and no more. And William Doyle went, yep, I'll have a piece of that, sir. Go down the inside and take 4th place.
Yeah, that was, for me, that was move of the night, Andrew. Brilliantly judged by Doyle to find that gap on the inside. Good respect shown by Murray Adams as well, not to squeeze him in that scenario. But beautiful pass, and it sees Doyle get up into 4th place. And it's all closing up quite nicely here, isn't it, Andrew? Between these drivers from at least 3rd place down, because immediately Doyle is on the gearbox of Andrew Dawson.
There are opportunities here that could make big differences in terms of round position and therefore championship points. Doyle's going to have another look down the inside of Dawson. He's been good on the brakes. Murray Adams has gone for it as well. And Andrew Dawson loses 2 spots there and loses the lead in Class 2 as a result of all of that. Steve Hicks is closing in, as is Tom Dix and Sam Sanders. Could be a big couple of laps here for Andrew Dawson. If he can hold on to that 5th place, it's going to be really, really good points for him. He's not going to want to lose those 3 spots to the C1s behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Dix and Sam Sanders trying to come onto the back of this, as we are on to the final lap of the round.
We are indeed. Sam Sanders is trying to find a way past Tom Dix here. He needs those points. He's had a good night so far tonight. Won the A final. Oh, squeezed down on Tom Dix there. The precision of our drivers tonight here in the CLUB100 BUKC iRACIng Championship, a testament to the series, if you ask me.
Yep, they know the limit to the cars, don't they? Relatively little in the way of incidents and accidents, considering how close these cars have been.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the decision to run with the Formula 4 this year as the single-seater car of choice has been justified. As much as we miss the F3s, these have put on some really, really good racing tonight in the first appearance of the F4 for this year and for the series' history. Meanwhile, Kieran Harrison is running to another race victory and most likely another round victory as well. Into the last couple of corners now as side by side go Doyle and Adams here on the final lap of the race. Adams is going to try and go around the outside. Oh, gets in the marbles and the dirt, but Kieran Harrison is going to come around the final corner and it's going to be another perfect race. Had a bit of pressure after the safety car, but Kieran Harrison wins in F4 in Barcelona. A very, very good job once again from the Leeds University driver. Jack Hare continues his very good season so far. 2nd place in the Super Final. William Doyle from the B Final finishes 3rd in the Super. 4th for Murray Adams, top C2 driver. Andrew Dawson did hold on to those positions. That's going to be a big haul of points for Dawson there in 5th. 6th for Steve Hicks, 7th for Sam Sanders, 8th for Tom Dix, 9th for Matt Salmon, another good showing from the C3 driver, 10th for Sam Dimolo. You are not seeing the usual smashy, folks. That is because there has been a rule change, so apologies. And sorry to those of you who enjoyed that one, but there's too many folks with direct drive wheels, and we want to retain their thumbs. That's what we'll say on that one. 11th for Kirith Calirai, 12th for James Fremont, 13th for Tim Penny, 14th for Matt Hale, 15th David Whitehouse, 16th Simon Delamere. That's the end of your cars that finished on the lead lap. Not good super finals for Adam State, Cameron Watson, Dan Gamlin, all drivers who did very well in the A final. Richard Sanders was next up in 20th. Tom Stalker on debut has done well tonight, finishes 21st in the super final, and then 2 retirements, Craig Brown and Luke Tomlinson. Boy, oh boy, that was some race, Howard. But it was all very much characterised, shall I say, by that race start.
Yeah, definitely. That was defining for the race. Certainly for those who unfortunately got tangled into it. 2 big incidents that we've seen tonight, and yet we're still coming away saying, driving standards are pretty good. I think it's because in both instances there were a lot of drivers who couldn't really do much to prevent getting tangled up in it. Maybe denied us of a few more challenges for Kieran Harrison, really. He got a rocket start and had already got into the lead by the time the safety car came out. I mean, fair play to him. That was a great launch off of the line. But and did what he needed to do, control it from there. But we had to look elsewhere in the field for the close battles. But we still had plenty of them, didn't we? Still found that highly entertaining, and agree with the comments you were making just before the end, mate, that this Formula 4 car, I think, has been a very good choice as the single-seater choice, as you say.
Wait around for the provisional results to come in. There is your race results for the super final. Kieran Harrison, the winner by just 10 seconds completes the podium. Murray Adams and Andrew Dawson, the top of the C2s. and actually third place in C2, beaten by one of the C3s. I think that pretty much indicates that Matt Salmon is going to be promoted and become a C2 himself in due course. So Murray Adams, Andrew Dawson and Sam Dimolo, your top three in Class 2 for the intermediate drivers, and then, as we say, Matt Salmon, Simon Delamere and Richard Sanders are three runners in C3 tonight. Steve Hicks finished in 6th place ahead of Sam Sanders and Tom Dix, who had up and down nights across the course of the evening. Kirith Kalurai, on his return to the series, finished in 11th place tonight in the super final ahead of James Fremont, who was in a great position after the safety car restart, but I just think had cold tyres and cold brakes into turn 1 and lost the positions there. Tim Penny had an incident on the lap after the safety car restart, and in the end is classified in 13th ahead of Matt Hale and David Whitehouse. He had that great scrap in the my mind's gone blank now. Was it in the B final or was it in the heat? It was in the heat, wasn't it? Because yes, Matt Hale qualified through to the A final direct. Adam State, I don't think will be happy tonight with 17th in that super final. That was one of those drivers who lost out in the early stages and off the starting grid there, lost a lap, as did Cameron Watson. Looking down into the latter stages of the result, so we did have a couple of non-starters as well in that race. Dan Gamblin, Richard Sanders, Tom Stalker, Craig Brown and Luke Tomlinson all finished off the lead lap. We have a result in. Let's go from 25th upwards. Tom Kemping in 25th, Charlie Summers 24th. They were your two non-starters in the super final. I think both of them had some hardware issues tonight. Richard Sanders 23rd, Tom Stalker 22nd, and Simon Delamere finishes in 21st. David Whitehouse, his first driver that we read out in the top 20, finished on 202 points, just behind Luke Tomlinson in 19th. 18th for Cameron Watson, 17th for Sam Dimolo, 16th for Matt Hale. Into the top 15 now, it's a tie on point between Tom Dix and Craig Brown. Craig Brown takes it on countback. They're both half a point behind Tim Penny there in 13th. James Fremont finishes 12th, 11th for Dan Gamblin. Then we find the first of our podium drivers in C2. Kirith Kalurai finishes 10th for the evening and 3rd in C2. Good haul of points for Kirith and his championship hopes. 9th for Jack Eyre, 8th for Matt Salmon, who of course is your winner in C3. 2nd in C2, 7th tonight for Murray Adams. More good points for Murray in his C2 effort. 6th place for Adam State. May mean that he loses the championship lead tonight's leaving Barcelona. Won't be happy with that result at all. Your winner of C2, and I think this is a very well-deserved C2 winner, had to dig deep, converted good results, kept himself out of trouble. 5th place overall for Andrew Dawson on 230 points. William Doyle was next up in 4th place, 232.5. 3rd place onto the podium now in both overall and C1. Steve Hicks on 239. 1.5 points behind Sam Sanders there on 240.5. It's Kieran Harrison again, your round 3 winner, who at least provisionally, but I think even if there were some changes of results, that this wouldn't change, because he takes the round by 6.5 points. Kieran Harrison takes round 4 of this year's Club 100 BUKC iRACIng Championship. Howard, he is building up a run of form now. I think at the start of the night we didn't say nobody was running away with this, but this is some great results and great driving from Kieran Harrison. It's going to take a lot to stop him here in this championship.
Yeah, absolutely. He wasn't with us for the first round. It's quite hard to remember that now, because since then he's had a very impressive run. A second and a first last time out in Hockenheim. And as you say, mate, he's now starting to get some real momentum behind this championship campaign. So this is going to be, he's starting to mark himself as the one to beat. But I think we saw some really interesting stuff at the start of that A final with those nipping at his heels, and it wasn't, a clean sweep for him tonight. So the challenge is still there. We know how competitive this field is. So yes, he's starting to get some real momentum, but it's not a done deal by any stretch of the imagination. You know, we've got some really strong competitors out there. Adam State, yes, will be disappointed, I think, with how that turned out for him there in the super final. Strong showing from Steve Hicks tonight. Strong showing from Sam Sanders, taking that A final win, seizing the opportunity when it didn't go well for Kieran. And we've still got other drivers who weren't here tonight, you know, drivers like Ross Deal as well. So I still think we're in for a really strong rest of the championship. But yeah, Kieran Harrison is the one to beat going forward.
Definitely so. Bit of news, bit of public service announcements over the next few days and weeks. If you enjoy your own karting racing this weekend, we've got more action from the Super 1 series over on the Alpha Live channel on Sunday. You'll be able to watch all of the racing there from Clay Pigeon. If you like your endurance racing as well, of course, it is not too far away from the centenary race of the Le Mans 24 Hours. We will both be there in person in a spectator capacity, but we will be bringing some bits from Le Mans for you there. So definitely go across to @Double Dash MM across all your social media networks, your Instagrams, your Facebooks, and here on Facebook, and click those subscribe, like, and follow buttons for more of that. The weekend after that, we've also got some stuff coming from the BUKC 24 Hours. Great to have a DDMM presence back at that event for the first time in a few years. And that's what's on the agenda, which then takes us to the next time that you'll see the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. Round number 5 will be on the 21st of June. Very much looking forward to that. You can still get involved, of course. Entries are still open for any driver who has raced or is currently racing in Club 100 or the BUKC, and also current drivers in the British Pro Kart Endurance Championship. There'll be the F4s again, and a new circuit for us here in the championship. Will be off to France and the Magny-Cours circuit. Very, very much looking forward to that. But Howard, I think that pretty much wraps things up for tonight. Any last words before we go?
Only to say that we've done the historic but not so historic layout of Catalunya. We're off to Magny-Cours next. It's like I'm reliving the mid-noughties of F1 here, and I'm loving it.
Absolutely. We'll very much look forward to that. Thank you for joining us here tonight. My name's been Andrew Mather. He's been Howard Mitchell. Together we've been Double Dash Motorsport Media. Do enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully we'll see a good number of you for Clay Pigeon Super 1 at the weekend. But for now, enjoy the rest of your evening, and goodbye.